everyone, I'm Alanah and welcome to Gamebug. And now that the dust has settled on E3 2014, I thought that I would go over the top controversies of this year's E3 because there's always some. Number one, of course, has to be the lack of female playable characters in Assassin's Creed Unity. Now this was kind of a weird one that I feel like was just something taken out of context or answered the wrong way and it really just blew up in Ubisoft's faces. Basically they showed off their new co-op feature which kind of works in the game, but every single person who was playing co-op was playing as a male assassin. Someone later asked them why they didn't have any female assassins playable and their answer was basically, it would be too expensive. And I don't think most people had an issue with not having a female playable assassin. I think the issue was largely that their excuse was that they didn't have enough time or money or that it would be too hard, when really they should have accounted for that when they started making the game, because why would you not account for having to make both genders? But then to add on to the story, another Ubisoft representative came out and said that the reason for it was actually that because every single player in that co-op is playing as Arno, the main character, they should all look like Arno instead of suddenly being female, and that totally makes sense to me. Number two, and unfortunately another one for bad guy Ubisoft, was that Far Cry was accused of being racist or having racist undertones because the cover has a white man with his hand on a darker man. The game's creative director, Alex Hutchinson, basically came out and said, just so we're clear, that's not the player and he's not white. But beyond that, I feel like you could also say that there's a lot of context there, like maybe that is the villain and maybe he is racist, and I don't think that it's, you know, trying to impose racism on the community. It could just be that he is a racist character, but you're not the one playing as him, so they're not making you racist. Apparently the point of that actual image with him holding someone by the head is supposed to just imply that he is ruling the country and also that he's kind of crazy. Number three, that's 6. Number 3 contains a couple of spoilers for Metal Gear 5 Ground Zero, so if you haven't played that yet, or if you are planning to, then look away. But this one is about the torture scenes that actually take place within that game, and there was a lot of controversy around that because a lot of people were saying, why are you having the bad guy torture a woman? Why? Just the stuff that happens is kind of disgusting, so Kojima basically responded to this at E3. Kojima said that he expected this kind of blowback, but basically did this all intentionally. He kept saying there are things we cannot just look away from, and that's kind of a weird thing to say, but I feel like the point might be there that we need to stop shying away from violent themes or some of the realities of war or some of these things that actually do happen, especially if we want video games to be taken seriously as a medium. The purpose of the themes is to make players empathize with Snake and to kind of feel motivated to take down the bad guy, and while I was playing Ground Zeroes, I kind of didn't feel like that. I just felt a little disturbed, but at the same time, I don't really feel like it needs to be controversial. We do need to have this kind of stuff in video games for the medium to mature. But apparently Phantom Pain is going to be structured very differently and won't feature any torture scenes. Actually, he said barely any torture scenes, so I don't really know what that means. Some people also mentioned that Grand Theft Auto 5 didn't get quite as much controversy for making you actually torture someone, and I'm gonna be honest, I absolutely hated that part of that game. I wish that I didn't have to do it. It left a really bad taste in my mouth and it was just not good. But I feel like the difference here is that you're torturing someone. In Grand Theft Auto 5, it's a little bit different to listening to audio tapes in Ground Zeroes of hearing a little girl be tortured in some sexual ways. So I was more disturbed by the Ground Zeroes half of it, but I mean, torture's never fun. I'm Alanah and thank you for watching Gamebug. Don't forget to leave a comment below and subscribe if you like this video. There will be a new one in a couple of weeks. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.